We're all taught from childhood that family is sacred. Blood is thicker than water, they say. Your family is supposed to be your safe haven, the one place where you can let your guard down and be your true self. But what if that belief is not just naive, but dangerous? What if the very people you trust most are also the ones most capable of undermining you? Intentionally or not, here's a truth most people will never admit. Loyalty within families is not unconditional. It's transactional, shaped by hidden agendas, old resentments, and unspoken rivalries. The idea that you can share everything with your family is a comforting illusion, but illusions are what get people blindsided. Machiavelli himself warned that power is lost, not through enemies, but through misplaced trust. Think about it. How many times have you seen a family member's secret become dinner table gossip, or a moment of vulnerability twisted into ammunition during an argument? The harsh reality is that the closer someone is to you, the more leverage they have if you hand them the keys to your inner world. In this video, I'm going to reveal 5 things you should never tell your family, no matter how close you think you are. These aren't just random tips. They're Machiavellian strategies for protecting your power, your ambitions, and your peace of mind. If you think you're immune, think again. The first secret is one almost everyone gets wrong, and it could cost you everything. Let's start with the first, and perhaps most underestimated. Secret: your true ambitions. Most people are conditioned to believe that sharing their dreams with family is not only safe, but necessary. Tell your parents your goals, they say. Let your siblings in on your plans. They'll support you. But here's the Machiavellian truth. The more people know about your deepest ambitions, the more power they have to shape, sabotage, or even steal them. Why is this so dangerous? Because ambition is raw energy. It's the fuel that drives you to break out of the mold, to become something more than what you are today. But when you expose that energy, when you lay your plans bare, you invite scrutiny, judgment, and, most insidiously, subtle sabotage. Family members, even those who love you, are not immune to envy or fear. Sometimes, your ambition is a mirror that reflects their own regrets or insecurities. Instead of cheering you on, they might unconsciously or consciously pull you back down to their level. Think about the cousin who scoffs when you say you want to start your own business, or the parent who, under the guise of protecting you, lists every reason your dream is unrealistic. These aren't always acts of malice. Sometimes, they're acts of self-preservation. If you succeed, what does that say about their choices? If you rise, does that mean they've settled? The Machiavellian understands that people, even family, are invested in the status quo. Your ambition threatens that equilibrium. There's also the risk of outright sabotage. Maybe it's a sibling who leaks your plans to others, turning your private goals into public gossip. Maybe it's a relative who, out of jealousy, subtly undermines your confidence or plants seeds of doubt. The more people know, the more opportunities there are for interference, intentional or not. But the most dangerous threat is the slow, corrosive effect of discouragement. It rarely comes as open hostility. Instead, it's 1,000 tiny cuts. Are you sure you're cut out for that? Wouldn't it be safer to stick with what you know? People like us don't do things like that. Over time, these doubts can erode your resolve, making you question whether your ambition was ever realistic in the first place. Contrast this with the Machiavellian approach. Move in silence. Share only what is necessary, and only with those who have proven themselves worthy of your trust. Let your results speak for you, not your intentions. When you keep your ambitions close to your chest, you protect them from the corrosive effects of envy, doubt, and sabotage. You maintain control over your narrative and your destiny. So, before you rush to share your next big goal at the family dinner table, ask yourself, are you seeking support, or are you handing over ammunition? The next secret is just as critical, because if your family knows your ambitions, the very next thing they'll want to know is how much you have to lose. Let's talk about your financial situation. Money is one of the most powerful forces in any relationship, and family is no exception. We're told that honesty about finances is a sign of trust, that sharing your financial wins and struggles with family will bring you closer together. But here's the hidden truth. The moment you reveal your financial situation, whether you're thriving or barely scraping by, you change the entire dynamic of your family relationships, and rarely for the better. Let's start with the obvious. If your family knows you're doing well, you instantly become a target for expectations, envy, and even manipulation. Suddenly, you're the successful one, the person everyone turns to when they need a loan, a bailout, or a favor. Requests for help might start small. Can you spot me a little cash until payday? But they rarely end there. Over time, your generosity can become an obligation, and your financial success a source of resentment. The more you give, the more is expected. And if you ever say no, you risk being labeled selfish or ungrateful, no matter how much you've already done. But what if you're struggling? You might think that sharing your hardships will earn you sympathy or support. Sometimes it does, but more often, it shifts the power dynamic in ways you can't control. Family members may start to see you as weak, irresponsible, or a burden. They might use your struggles as a way to assert dominance, offer advice that's really just criticism, or gossip about your failures behind your back. In some cases, your vulnerability becomes a weapon, used to keep you in your place, or remind you of your dependence. There's also the issue of privacy. Once your financial details are out in the open, they rarely stay contained. Information spreads, sometimes innocently, sometimes maliciously. A casual mention of your salary or savings can become family lore, twisted and exaggerated with every retelling. Before you know it, relatives you barely speak to have opinions about how you spend your money, what you owe them, or what you should be doing differently. The Machiavellian understands that money is leverage. The less people know about your resources, the more control you have over your own life. Ambiguity is your ally. If you're doing well, downplay it. If you're struggling, keep it to yourself. Let your actions, not your bank statements, define your worth. This isn't about being cold or secretive for the sake of it. It's about protecting your autonomy and preventing others from using your financial situation as a tool for manipulation. Ask yourself, what do you gain by revealing your financial truth? More often than not, the risks outweigh the rewards. Keep your cards close, and you'll avoid the traps of expectation, resentment, and exploitation. But money isn't the only sensitive topic that can shift family dynamics. There's another area where oversharing can be just as dangerous: your romantic relationships. Let's explore why your love life should remain your own. When it comes to love, most people are taught that family involvement is a sign of closeness. You're encouraged to bring your partner home, share every detail of your relationship, and seek advice from those who know you best. But here's the Machiavellian reality. The more your family knows about your romantic life, the more power they have to influence, judge, and even sabotage it, often without you realizing it's happening. Family opinions are rarely neutral. Every comment, every raised eyebrow, every just looking out for you is colored by their own biases, experiences, and sometimes their own unresolved issues. Maybe your parents project their failed relationships onto yours, warning you about dangers that don't exist. Maybe a sibling, consciously or not, feels threatened by your happiness and subtly undermines your confidence in your partner. Even well-meaning relatives can plant seeds of doubt that grow into real problems. Oversharing about your relationship opens the door to unsolicited advice and criticism. Suddenly, every argument you have becomes a family discussion. Every flaw in your partner is magnified under the harsh light of family scrutiny. What started as a private disagreement can quickly become public drama, with everyone weighing in on what you should do, how you should feel, and whether your relationship is good enough. The result: your confidence erodes, your loyalty is tested, and your partner may feel alienated or judged. But the danger doesn't stop at criticism. Sometimes, family members use information about your relationship as leverage. Maybe they guilt trip you for spending time with your partner instead of them. Maybe they use your relationship status to manipulate your decisions, reminding you of your single status when it suits them, or questioning your choices when you're in a relationship they don't approve of. The more they know, the more they can interfere. There's also the risk of sabotage, intentional or not. A careless comment at a family gathering, a joke that hits too close to home, or a private detail shared with the wrong person can create rifts that are hard to repair. In extreme cases, family members may even try to break up your relationship if they feel it threatens their influence over you. The Machiavellian approach is simple. Protect your relationship by keeping it private. Share only what is necessary, and only with those who have earned your trust, and respect your boundaries. Let your relationship grow in its own space, free from the distortions of outside opinions and interference. Remember, your love life is not a family project. It's your own journey. So before you invite your family into the most intimate parts of your life, ask yourself, are you seeking genuine support? Or are you opening the door to unnecessary drama and sabotage? Because if you think family can't use your relationship against you, wait until you see what happens when you reveal your weaknesses and failures. That's where the real danger begins. We're told that vulnerability is strength, that sharing our fears and failures with family will bring us closer together and foster understanding. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When you expose your weaknesses, even to those who love you most, you're handing them a loaded weapon. And whether they mean to or not, family members often use that weapon, sometimes in ways you never see coming. Think back to a time you confided in a family member about a mistake you made or a fear that kept you up at night. Maybe you were looking for comfort, advice, or just someone to listen. But what happened next? Did that secret stay between you, or did it resurface later? Maybe in a heated argument, or as a cautionary tale at a family gathering. The reality is, once your vulnerabilities are out in the open, you lose control over how they're used. Even the most well-intentioned family member can let something slip, turning your private pain into public knowledge. But it goes deeper than accidental gossip. Sometimes, your weaknesses become leverage in family power dynamics. Maybe a sibling brings up your past failures to win an argument or to make themselves look better by comparison. Maybe a parent uses your fears to justify holding you back. You've always struggled with this, so let me decide for you. These aren't always acts of cruelty. Often, they're unconscious attempts to maintain the family hierarchy or to keep you dependent. There's also the subtle corrosive effect of being seen as the weak one. Once you're labeled, it's hard to shake. Family members may start to treat you differently, offering unsolicited advice, doubting your decisions, or excluding you from important conversations. Over time, this can erode your confidence and reinforce the very insecurities you are hoping to overcome by opening up in the first place. The Machiavellian understands that power is preserved through selective vulnerability. This doesn't mean you have to be cold or distant, but it does mean you should be strategic about what you share and with whom. Not every fear or failure needs to be aired out at the family table. Sometimes, the strongest move is to process your struggles privately or with someone who has earned your absolute trust. Ask yourself, what do you really gain by exposing your soft spots? More often than not, the risks outweigh the rewards. Protect your weaknesses as you would your most valuable assets, because in the wrong hands, they can be used to control, manipulate, or diminish you. And if you think sharing your vulnerabilities is risky, consider the fallout from revealing your true opinions about family members themselves. That's the next and perhaps most explosive, secret you should never share. Honesty is often hailed as the highest virtue, especially within families. We're told that being open about our feelings and opinions is the foundation of trust and closeness. But here's the Machiavellian reality. Revealing your true opinions, especially your judgments or criticisms, about family members is a move that can backfire in ways you can't imagine. In the world of power dynamics, some truths are better left unspoken. Think about it. Every family has its unspoken rules, its delicate balance of egos, alliances and rivalries. When you voice your real thoughts, whether it's frustration with a sibling's choices, disappointment in a parent's behavior, or annoyance at a relative's habits, you're not just expressing yourself. You're shifting the balance of power. Suddenly, you're no longer a neutral party. You're a threat, a challenger, or even an enemy in someone else's eyes. The fallout can be immediate and brutal. Honest criticism, no matter how constructive, is rarely received with gratitude. Instead, it breeds resentment, defensiveness, and sometimes outright hostility. Old wounds are reopened, past grievances resurface, and what started as a moment of honesty can spiral into a full-blown family feud. Even if your intentions are pure, your words can be twisted, exaggerated, or weaponized in future conflicts. In the heat of an argument, your honest opinion becomes ammunition, proof that you've always felt this way, that you've been harboring secret judgments all along. But the danger doesn't end with the person you criticize. Families are ecosystems, and word travels fast. A comment made in confidence to one member can quickly become common knowledge, spreading through the grapevine and poisoning relationships you never intended to harm. Suddenly, you find yourself isolated, mistrusted, or caught in the crossfire of alliances you didn't even know existed. The Machiavellian understands that silence is often more powerful than honesty. You don't have to lie, but you do have to be strategic. Sometimes, the wisest move is to keep your true opinions to yourself, or to express them in ways that don't threaten the fragile balance of family dynamics. This isn't about being fake. It's about self-preservation and maintaining your influence. When you hold your cards close, you remain unpredictable, unassailable, and above petty drama. Ask yourself, what do you really gain by voicing every criticism or judgment? Is the fleeting satisfaction of honesty worth the potential for lasting rifts, vendettas, or power struggles? In most cases, the answer is no. Protect your opinions as you would your secrets, and you'll find it much easier to navigate the complex web of family relationships. Now that you know the 5 things you should never reveal, it's time to bring it all together and show you how strategic silence can become your greatest source of power. Let's wrap up with the ultimate lesson in Machiavellian self-preservation. So, let's bring it all together. You've just uncovered the 5 things you should never tell your family: your true ambitions, your financial situation, the details of your romantic relationships, your weaknesses and failures, and your honest opinions about family members. Each of these secrets, if revealed, can shift the balance of power in ways that rarely work in your favor. The Machiavellian lesson is clear. Strategic silence isn't about being cold or distant. It's about protecting your autonomy, your ambitions, and your peace of mind. In a world where oversharing is the norm and blind trust is celebrated, choosing to keep certain things to yourself is a radical act of self-preservation. It's not about building walls, but about setting boundaries that keep you in control of your own narrative. Remember, power isn't just about what you say. It's often about what you choose not to say. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 secrets surprised you the most? Do you have your own rules for what you never share with family? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about real self-protection. If you found value in this forbidden knowledge, make sure to subscribe for more insights into dark psychology and power dynamics. Stay sharp, stay strategic, and remember, sometimes Silence is your greatest weapon. Thanks for watching.